Hey guys, welcome to the jungle. We are training for the South Thailand Motocross Championship. And if you're new to my channel, let me welcome you and explain shortly about myself. So I've raced motocross, but I was a late starter. I started as a teenager and then I took a break from motocross studying nanotechnology. And then I really went into motocross. Now I'm training full-time and also I have sponsorship now. So now I have more a science-based approach and more systematic way of training, and I've coached hundreds of people from around the world. So my videos, they are more like science-based and systematic, and also based on real-life experience coaching hundreds of people from many different countries. And also, since I'm not one of those lucky kids that just got a bike from when they were 5 years old, which is a great thing, but I was not that lucky. So learning things at an adult age, you have to pay a lot more attention to each step of the process and actually analyze it more. Whereas kids, you know, you just maybe get on the bike and maybe you can even like throw a big whip as a kid and you don't even know how you actually do it. And you can talk to a lot of pro guys. They're not even good at explaining what they actually do when they do some of that wild stuff. So, but I have actually learned some of these high-level skills in a systematic step-by-step manner. So if you think that is cool or interesting for your own training, then subscribe to the channel. Anyways, in this video, where we're training for the South Thailand Motocross Championship, we are going to talk about bowl turns, because actually most of the tracks in Thailand, especially South Thailand, they are a hybrid track between motocross and supercross. And as you probably know, bowl turns are normal kind of turn that is used on supercross tracks, okay? What is a bowl turn, in case you don't know? So a bowl turn is like a berm turn, but the berm has a very nice curvature. So if you cut through the berm like out here, this is a bowl turn and this is a normal regular berm. So a normal regular berm, it has like a flat area at the bottom of the berm. This is like a sweeper part of the turn. And then suddenly it gets very steep and then you can ride fast up here on the steep part, okay? Whereas a bowl turn, it has a very gradual increase of the angle, and they're usually quite tall, like maybe 2 meters tall. And this gradual angle, it has some really interesting features and options as a racer. And we're going to talk about that in this video, because it enables you to make some cool passes and stuff you would never be able to do on a normal berm turn or with ruts, okay? So if you imagine this as basically, if you have like a nice bowl and you cut it in half, then you just put this bowl like right about here, okay? So here's your half bowl, okay? So you imagine it's like nice round curve, okay? It's really hard to draw on a picture, so we're not gonna try to do that, especially not with my drawing skills. So we're just gonna imagine this is half a bowl, right? So the cool thing about a bowl turn is you don't have to enter wide to carry speed. You can actually cut in. You can enter the turn like kind of like this, and then you can cut out again. So you can really cut the corners, and you can also enter wide and then cut out extra early. So you can make a pass on a guy that's, let's say that these two lines that I just draw now, let's say that these two lines, they represent the path of two different riders. And this is actually exactly what happened in the race with Ken Roczen and Cooper Webb. So actually you can see it's possible to pass a rider that enters in front of you, kind of. If this guy, he comes in here, he's actually in front of you and you're coming in here. He seems like he's far in front, right? Like you're behind him here and he's in front of you here, so he cuts out here, or he might even stay on the berm for a bit longer. but because of the shape of the turn, it will provide you support to cut out early. So you can actually, you can basically cut your own lines on the bowl, which is pretty cool. You'll also see riders in the beginning of the race. Usually you see riders, they ride high on the, they just rail the kind of a little bit high line, medium high line around the berm. It'll carry a lot of momentum, like carrying a shit ton of speed in and out of the turn. But then it starts to get worn out, cut a rut into it and starts to get bumpy. Then they'll just cut a line just like 1 foot under. So they'll still rail the outside if they don't need to pass anybody. And then later they will cut all the way to the bottom of the bowl. So they're still using kind of like a bowl and they're just like cutting into it. So you can basically keep cutting lines further and further down, which normally on a normal berm, you just can't cut any new lines from under here. And you also can make this creative cutting in early and cutting out early, or cutting in late to the turn and cutting out a bit late. You can't do these combinations on a normal berm. So this was a quick introduction to bowl turns, and I hope you find it interesting and will use it for racing, because we're going to practice on a track that has some bowl turns very soon. You'll probably see an update on that as well. See you on the next one. Subscribe if you liked it. Thank you.